the woman's job is to unlock the goddess. The man's job is simply to explore that. Now what's happened is now it's being exploited. And this is why we have to wake back up our women. Because when the exploitation starts, only when the goddess awakes will the exploitation stop. Okay? So let me explain this also in another way. Now imagine then, as your system already teaches you, that we're in a gigantic mother goddess, right? But as the story keeps going, it says that she's asleep. Anybody familiar with Gaia's story of being asleep and in a dream? Okay? If you keep reading and you understand esoteric knowledge, you'll run across this a lot, that many of the goddesses are asleep, like Selene. There's even a riddle that says you can either sleep to Selene or awake to Isis. And I listened to that years ago and I was like, what does that mean? But there are many sleeping goddesses. In fact, as you'll see here in this image, in Malta, to be a true knight of Malta, not the impersonators that are doing this now and acting like they belong to the round table. They are here to protect and make others aware of the goddess. So you see, this is the sleeping goddess, which is an ancient statue found on the island of Malta. And as you'll see on the bottom, it says the remains of one of 50 of the goddess's temples in Malta. Okay? So I'm gonna still break this down for you and build it back up, because this is very important for you to understand. If the goddess goes to sleep, what happens to all the explorers? Now remember, I'm working with you here to try to get you to see that you're actually both. But you can polarize yourself if that's how you feel and you just want to be the goddess tonight, you could do that. If you want to be an explorer tonight, you can do that. If you want to understand both in order to hold the great key, then you can do that also. But I'm asking you directly, what happens if you're inside of something and it goes to sleep? What happens to you? So now do you see why? A little bit of why this stuff is going on? Because the goddess is asleep. So let me show you something. Here we have the goddess Durga, okay, on the right side, slaying demons, okay, meaning just setting stuff straight. On the left side, we have a very cryptic image, which some have seen before. I'll blow it up, but maybe few have seen it. On the left side is the initiate of the left paw, or the lion's paw. This is on the left side here, okay? And what this is about deep arcana from Kemet of masters waking up initiates, okay? But what is often not mentioned or pointed out, as you see in this image, is that the one, excuse me, give me 1 second here. Let me boom, 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 boom. The one that is actually coming out of the tomb is not a male. It is a female. Okay? Now, there are other renditions of this. This is how knowledge is changing rapidly. I personally believe that most of real occult knowledge is hastily being buried by false knowledge. That there is a deluge of knowledge. There's so much information on the internet, and there's so many people. That's why I said there's so many people that are like, this is what it is. This is what I believe. This is who I'm talking to. This is what my dream is saying. And they're playing with something, and they got like a half truth, because to truly know the mysteries, you cannot even be sworn in it. You have to be born in it. You have to awake. You have to become enlightened, right? So what you're seeing here is a duty and a charge of a master. So the master here is in the face of a lion, right? and is holding the Caduceus staff, is holding the shepherd of the crook, is holding the tetragrammaton on his waist, which is the pyramid, is actually encrusted in the breastplate. And what is he actually doing? He's raising the goddess from her sleep. Why? Because if you notice, in her hand is the key of life. So in all of the mysteries since time memorial, before all of this late foolishness that we're seeing, any master or mason's job was to awake women, to make sure that they're aware of who they are. Because if they go to sleep, we all go to sleep. If they stop becoming aware of who they are, we're lost. And that's what Tantra really is. Deep levels of Tantra. There's a movie out. It's called Tantra. It's actually in Hindu. And again, I talk about this. I never watched the movie. I only watched a couple of scenes. I kept clicking through it because it's subtitled. I had a bunch to do. But in the scenes that I saw, every scene spoke to me. In one scene, this master male is about to go into this session of Tantra with this female that he's going to teach how to be a tantric goddess, because she knows some stuff, but she still needs to learn some things. And as they start getting into the sensual process and then the copulation process or the connection process, she starts getting into it even more. And as he's starting to watch her, he kind of shakes her and wakes her out of her she's about to orgasm. He wakes her up and says, wait, stop. You need to know what you're doing, because I'm connected to you. And if we're traveling out there and you lose control, we're both lost. And this is what was said in the movie, because it's the truth about the matter to all of existence and what we're dealing with. If the woman actually forgets who she is, we're all lost. So that's why any being that is supposed to be a guru, supposed to be a guide, supposed to be a mentor, supposed to be any of those kind of things, where the male has taken on the role of being a custodian or a husbandman or priest or a kahin, his only duty is to wake up the woman to who she truly is. Because if not, also it creates an imbalance, a huge imbalance. Because if the being that is responsible for giving us all the abundance and giving us all of the what is going on in the physical starts feeling disempowered about who she is, and then starts looking to the being that just is supposed to be exploring the thing, just is supposed to make it all have purpose, to be a reflection, etc., we have a deep situation happening.